The Velotric Discover 1 is a brand new e-bike that lets you effortlessly explore your city in a simple, comfortable, and reliable ride. It boasts a 500 watt rear hub motor with up to 65 Newton meters or 48 foot-pounds of torque, a large removable 692 watt-hour LG or Samsung battery with a range of up to 80 miles, 7-speed Shimano thumb shifter, front spring fork, 26-inch wheels, disc brakes, and ergonomic handle and seat for an upright, comfortable riding experience. It has an intelligent 3-level pedal assist with 12 magnetic cadence and speed sensors, and a thumb throttle if you don't want to pedal. Sitting in the center of the handlebar is a 3.5-inch backlit LCD integrated display that shows your current speed, distance, assistance, and battery level. The reinforced aluminum step-through frame is easy to hop on for riders 5'4" to 6'4", even with items on the rear rack. The bike is IPX5 water resistant, so you can ride through any weather condition. There is also integrated front and rear lights for safety in the dark. This is Power Assist 2, and then let's go to Power Assist 3. Hey friends, this is Colin, and today I have the opportunity to review this Velotric Discover e-bike. I don't know if you guys have heard of Velotric, but it's a new e-mobility startup. I'm sure you guys have heard of Lime. They're the green scooters all around San Francisco and all around the different metropolitan areas. Well, their former hardware team and their former co-founder, they started this new company. Their team reached out to me asking if I wanted to review this product, and I was very happy to review it for them. Today I'm going to do an unboxing. I'm going to assemble it. I'm going to go over the brief functionalities of it, do a test ride around the neighborhood. I'll also give you my brief overview. So this product is actually coming out next week on Indiegogo. The price has yet to be determined, and a link for that will be in the description section below, so you can check that out. Without further ado, I'm going to unbox this. They sent me a set of instructions, and there's these plastic pieces right here. So I think you just pull these and this comes out. There's 4 of them on this side. There's probably 4 more on the other side. On the back we have 4 more of those, which I will remove in a second. I currently have this propped up on a folding table, and if it cannot support itself, I'll have to move it onto the ground. Let's see if it slides off now. Okay. Got the spots here. Just onto the ground. Look at my spots here and stuff on the table. This is all of the hardware. This is the front wheel. I'll just put it on the ground for now. This is the front fender. I'll put this on the ground as well. This is the handlebar. There's a screw and a nut on the bottom of this box. I don't know where it goes, but I'll just set it aside for now. I'm not sure what this is, but we'll figure out in a second. We have more hardware. Let me see if I can get this bike off and just prop it onto this table. This table wasn't working out. I brought out my bike repair stand. I have the bike on it. It's pretty heavy. I don't know the exact weight, but I would say it's like 50 pounds, just trying to carry that up there. We have the bicycle itself. We have the front wheel on the ground. We had the front fender. We had some miscellaneous screws that were just loose in the box. We have this box right here, which we're gonna go through right now. We have a set of tools. Looks like there's just wrenches, Allen keys. We have this screwdriver, and we have a pair of keys. Let's put that to the side. Right here we have what appears to be reflectors. I'll open that up in a second. There are 2 pedals, and these should be, yeah, this one is for the right, has an R on it. This one should be L for left. We have a bike light. We have a front skewer. This is for the front wheel. And then we have the battery charger and a safety manual, which you can read at your own leisure if this focuses. So battery charger right here. And yeah, there is the plug. This plug goes into the bike, and then there's the plug that goes into the outlet. So let's put these aside. The company sent me a set of instructions, which I have on my phone right now, and I'm just gonna go through them in order because in the past I assembled it myself, and even though I got to the same final result, it was not per their instructions, even though it doesn't really matter. But just for consistency, if you do buy this bike, let's just follow the instructions. So the first one is unboxing, which we've already done. It shows the parts, which I've gone over. Then step number 2 is the front wheel assembly. So we have this front wheel right here, and then we have to figure out how to get it onto this bike right here. So as we can see, there is the caliper on the other side. It's facing away from me, so I want the disc on the other side. But how do we connect it? We need the skewer, and this side it doesn't have a lever. The other side it does have a lever, so I'm going to copy the same thing. I'm going to use the skewer, take this off, take the skewer off, take the spring off, make sure that you hold on to it and don't lose it. We're going to feed it through the direction that we want it to. So I have the lever on this side, and then I'm going to take this cap off because we can't put this on with that on. Going to put the spring on, and then I'm going to put the other end in. Just do that so it's loose, but enough clearance to fit through here. And I'm going to move my table because it's probably in the way. We are going to slide this through. We have our front wheel, and you see this fork here. There's a groove right here. We want the skewer to slide in here, but at the same time, we want the disc brake to fit in between the brakes, and then you want this to line up with the grooves. So then you pull that up, push this up as high as you can, and then you're going to rotate this lever until it's tight. You can do some fine tuning on the other side, and then keep pushing it up, and then you'll be able to push this inwards to tighten it. If you can't push it in, that means it's too tight. You can back the backside up counterclockwise until it's loose enough where you can push this in. If it's too loose, turn the one in the back clockwise and then push it in. So right now it's snug, and then we're gonna check to see that it's not rubbing. So there's some minor rubbing. Maybe I didn't center that all the way. Let's try that again. Push it up as high as we can. Push this in, and it seems better. So the first time I didn't have it centered directly, so that's why I was rubbing. Right now it seems to be rolling smooth. Sometimes the disc is just warped over time or during transport, then you need this fork to straighten it out. But right now it seems good, so we're good here. Next, we're going to install the front fender. We have 2 screws on the bottom. They're on the fork. We're using the smallest Allen key that it came with. We're taking them off. Take that off, put that aside. Going to do the same thing on the other side. So that is off. And then right here in the middle, we are going to take the second largest Allen key and hold this in place in the back. And then we have the smaller wrench. We're going to hold this nut in place, and then with the Allen key in the back, we're just going to take or rotate it counterclockwise until we can get this off, and that's that right there. We're going to take the fender, and again, this is the front of the bike. We're going to line this up right here. So we're just going to reverse that process where we put this bolt through, up here, I'm going to take this nut and just hand tighten it a little bit. Just keep it loose. Then we're going to take these other bolts that it came with and then thread them by hand on the bottom. Use this Allen key to tighten it. Make sure it's sitting in straight. You don't want to thread these clockwise to tighten it. Use the Allen key and tighten this. Just adjusting this front fender so it doesn't rub. And it seems to be straight right here. Step number 4 is installing the handlebar, and I personally would have done this before the fender because this handlebar was hitting the fender when I was installing it. Going to use the second smallest Allen wrench and then loosen all 4 of these bolts. Put these in my hands. Put it down on the table. Let's get this last one off. Here is the handlebar, and let's make sure that it is centered. So I just want to get these bolts back on. Let's get my Allen key again and get these in place. I have these 4 bolts on. They're pretty loose. I'm just going to get them a little snug, but not overly tight. And it doesn't help that the handlebar doesn't have indicators where it's center and these other measurements that some of them do have. You can do this now or you can do this later. They advise you to adjust the handlebar to whatever's comfortable, but we haven't even adjusted the seat yet. It's probably better to adjust the seat, sit on the bike, and then get on the handlebar and figure out what's comfortable and then adjust it, and then when you're good, you would tighten it. So right now I'm just gonna keep it slightly loose, but you can stand on the bike and kind of figure out what's comfortable for you and then tighten it. The seat was pre-installed. I'm not going to loosen it right now because the stand is actually holding the bike by the seat post, but you would pull this out, you would install the seat, and then you would turn it and then tighten it, kind of like the skewer that we did in the first step, and until that's tight. Over here we also have an adjustment for the angle of the seat post. So you would take your second smallest Allen key, and there's a bolt back here too. So now we can adjust the angle, how near or how far you want the seat to be. So I like mine pretty flat, and I can adjust this later as well. But let me just get it straight at least. Again, I can always adjust this later. And then my seat angle is also off. I'm going to adjust it later. I'm going to loosen this, turn it towards me so it's straight with the frame, and then I'll tighten that back up. Right now we are going to install the right pedal, and I don't think you can see this, but right here it's going to say R. Let's pop the sticker out just using the Allen key that we got. We're going to find our wrench that fits perfectly. We're just going to thread this on. For the right side, if you turn it clockwise or right, it tightens it, but then on the left side you have to do the opposite. Some people advise putting thread locker, like the blue stuff, so it doesn't come off. I've never had an issue, and I think the way it's threaded, you'll be pedaling forward, so it should be tightening it. But if you're concerned, you can put that stuff on. Just double checking. Yep, that's good. Just checking these pedals, they're not the best. There is some resistance. If you really cared to do, you could buy new pedals that have less resistance. And then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. For the other side, let's remove this protective piece. I'm going to take the sticker off. We're going to turn it counterclockwise to tighten. Okay, so it's going in. And then my fingers are too fat, so I'm going to use the tool here. Just going to push it as hard as we can. There's actually a pretty small wrench. It's hard to get leverage. You might want to take another adjustable wrench and tighten it a little more, but we got it in. Step 7, we're going to install the front light. Alright, so I figured out where these two screws that were floating in the cardboard box go. They actually go together like this, and they're actually used to hold the front light together. So let's stick, I don't think it matters which side. I'm going to stick one end in, then going to put the other end in, and we're going to take our second smallest Allen key and tighten it. You can adjust this angle. I'll probably have it pointing forward. We'll use our Allen key to tighten it, and I noticed that this screw, both of these screws are the same size, and we only had one Allen key, so if you try to spin this or over tighten it, the other one will also start spinning. But I think it's fine. Over here we have this red connector, and we're just going to find where these meet. So I don't know if you can see this, but there's two plugs and then there's a notch on the bottom, so it looks like there's only one way to install this. So let's put this in here and push them in. And then you can turn this red thing, piece of plastic, to lock it into place, and that seems to be in. There's a rear and front reflector. There's also a bell, and it's a little redundant with the reflectors because the rear brake light already has a reflector, and then the front light also has a reflector. But I guess if you wanted to put more reflectors on, you could put these on. You can also put a bell on as well. Step number 8 is to install the battery, which we can't do because the battery is already installed. Right here we have a key, and if we look here, it says lock that way, unlock that way. So if I turn it this way, we unlock the battery, and then we can take this out. I just want to show you the battery. There's a plug right there, and then on the bottom there's just like 2 grooves. I guess that just fits in down here. So let's look around. There's a, I don't know if this is a battery indicator. Yeah, Preston held it. It's red. I'm not sure what that tells us, but I'll probably find out in a second. Here's some information if you care to read it, if it focuses. That's what the inside of the battery compartment looks like. And I'm going to put the battery back in. Let's see how that snaps in. Right now it's unlocked. See right here, it's unlocked. I can't go any further. I can't put the battery back in. Let's see if I take the key out, if I could put the battery back in. I cannot. So I think I have to, let's see, halfway I cannot take the key out. I have to push the battery down and then turn it to lock, and then I could pull the key out. Unlock. I have to push, right now I can't lock it. I have to push the battery down and then I can lock it. Remember when we had the battery out and I pressed and held this, it was red. If I press and hold it now, it's green. So that probably means that it's connected. We have this port right here. There's this tab that you just pull off, and then if you see the plug, there's only one way to put it in. Just shove that in there. Right now I'm going to plug it into the outlet. It is plugged in, and there's no indicator on the battery that it is plugged in, but if you go to the battery pack, it is red. I assume that when it's done charging, it'll turn green. The last step is to inflate the tires, and if we read right here, it says inflate to 240 to 450 kPa, 35 to 65 psi. I'm going to take this cap off. We have our bike pump on the ground, and I'll have to rotate this around because my hose isn't long enough. And then right now it's reading 20 psi. You have to take my word on it. I'm gonna pump it to 40 psi. So right now we're at 40 psi. I'm gonna take this off and put the cap back on. And I'll do the same thing for the rear. I'm not gonna do it in this video. You can do it on your own time, but I would highly advise that you check both brakes to make sure that they're true, that they're functioning, and that they're tight. Also, you want to adjust the rear derailleur to make sure it's shifting smoothly. Make sure everything that is loose is tight. Just make sure it's good before you begin. Now, let's just go over the controls really quick. In the front, we have a front brake. Over here, we have the controls. There's a power button, there's a plus and minus, there's a LCD screen, there's a shifter over here. This is to shift upwards. You shouldn't actually do this unless you're actually pedaling, but just to give an example, this is to go to a higher gear, and then I'll just go through it later, and this is to release it. Testing out the derailleur, no adjustments seem to be needed. This is the first gear, second gear, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh. Then going back down, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. My pedal's hitting the stand, so that's why it's a little jerky. And the brakes work. Here we have a thumb lever, and then we have the brake, the rear brake right here. Coming to the front, we have this no brand name cable pull, just a disc caliper, and then we also have a 180 millimeter rotor. In the front, we have a pair of shocks. I'm not sure if they're spring or gas loaded or if they're adjustable. The front wheels are also 26 by 2.50, the same as the back. Coming to the middle, we have a 42 teeth chain ring, and then this is a 170 millimeter crank. In the rear, we have a 48 volt, 500 watt, I guess it's their own brand, rear hub. And then we have a 7-speed cassette. We have a Shimano tourney derailleur. There's also a bike rack in the back. The wheels are 26 by 2.5. Back here we have a kickstand. That goes down. In the back we just have these regular cable brakes, and we have a 180 millimeter rotor. The lowest seat height right now is 33 3/4 inches. I believe you can go lower if you loosen these 2 water bottle bolts on the bottom, because let me just show you. The seat post is pretty long. This is where it stopped. You can see where it got a little dusty and where it's clean. It stopped right here. I think this bolt, these 2 bolts are in the way, so maybe you might be able to get it down here, and let me just measure that for you. If the seat height was down here, it'd be 32 inches. At its tallest mark is about 41 inches. So if you're that tall, or if you have that high of a standover, this bike will fit. And then if you're, I think it was at 32, it would work for you as well. I'll just measure this distance from the center of the seat post to the middle of the stem, and right there we have like 24 inches. That's just for reference if you want to measure like how cramped it'll be depending how long your arms are. To turn the bike on, we'll just press and hold the power button, and this screen should turn on. Here's the screen, here's the speedometer, here's the battery level. I guess this is the distance you've traveled, and then this is the assist level. So over here, you probably can't see it, but the plus and minuses, I found out that if you press and hold the bottom button, the minus button, it will go to P, which I guess this is like pedestrian mode, I don't know. You can use this mode to walk the bike, and the rear wheel is spinning right now very slowly. Okay, if I let go of that, it goes back to the 0. If I press and hold the plus button, the light turns on, and then if I press and hold it again, it turns off. When you have the bike powered on, this red rear light turns on, and then if you press the brake lever, it's actually kind of cool, it actually gets brighter. So cars behind you or people behind you know that you're stopping. We have different pedal assists. Let me just pedal manually, and you have to trust me with this. I'm rotating the pedals with my hand, and there is no pedal assist. If I go to pedal assist 1, I can pedal, and the rear wheel does spin. And then if I go to 2, provides even more power. You can see that it jumped to 16 miles, and then pedal assist 3. I'm gonna pedal again. That also jumped pretty high. So I'll do the actual real life examples in a second, but I just want to show you that. Let's go back to pedal assist 0, and let me show you this thumb lever. So pedal assist 0, if I use the thumb, nothing happens. If I go to 1, if I press the thumb, it goes to about 10 miles an hour. 11, if I go to pedal assist 2, it goes to 16. It's going to 17 right now. And if I go to pedal assist 3, it goes to 18. And this is with the bike on the stand. Let me go through those settings once again. So I'll just pedal with my hand. This is power assist 0. I'm going to switch to power assist 1. Right away there's a boost of power. Let's go to power assist 2. And then power assist 3. Not sure what the difference is. It seems to sound the same. I think the speed only went up by like 2 miles. I'm gonna let it run so you can just hear how it sounds. That's the sound of it just freewheeling, and then this is with the motor. You can hear that whine. And this is it coasting. And I'm gonna stop it. So let's go back to assist 0. I'm pushing the thumb throttle right now. Nothing is happening. I'm going to go to power assist 1. I'm using the thumb throttle, and it seems to be sensitive to the throttle. So if I only push it down 10%, it goes pretty slow. If I put it down 50%, it speeds up. If I put it down all the way, it goes all the way. And then if I release it to 50%, it slows down. If I let go of the thumb throttle, it takes the power off. So let's go full throttle on power assist 1. Let's change to power assist 2 while holding the thumb throttle at full throttle. This is power assist 2. And then let's go to power assist 3. And we're at power assist 3, going back to 2, going back to 1. And then 0. Just let it coast a little bit, and then we'll press the rear brake. And then to turn this off, I just press and hold the power button. Here is the bike in my Prius. It was a bit hard to fit in, but eventually got in. I actually had to take the front wheel off because it wasn't clearing. When I had the front wheel on, the handlebar was protruding out, so I couldn't close the trunk. So I decided just to take the front wheel off. But it does fit. It is pretty heavy and is difficult to maneuver. It's not as easy as, say, a Jetson Bolt, which I have a review video for that. You can check that out if you want to. That one's more portable. This is more just like, it can be done. It can be placed in the car, or you can put it on a bike rack. But it's probably best just to take this out of your house and just go with it. Here we are at a bike route in San Francisco, and today I'm going to test ride this bike. This route specifically is 6 miles downhill with some flats, and then the route is reversed, so there's flats and some uphills coming back up. And then I'll be able to test the brakes, I'll be able to test the power assist functions, the shocks. I can also test the thumb throttle and then everything else. I'm not able to test the entire range. They do advertise 80 miles per hour. The reason why I can't test the entire range is this company wants me to get this video out this weekend, so I only have today to test it because they're doing the launch next week. I won't be able to test the entire range, but I will be able to test the power assist, the thumb throttle, the shocks, brakes, and the shifting. And without further ado, let's get to it. Here we are at the beginning of the trail, and I'm just pedaling without any functions on, so that just shows you that you're able to bike with the power off. And there doesn't seem to be a lot of resistance. I'm at gear number 3, which is the third from the highest right now, and I'm just going to turn the bike on. So here we are at pedal assist 0. That does the same thing as having the bike off. There's no assist. Then I'm going to go to 1. Immediately, right away, I noticed it's so much easier now. So I'm going like 7 miles an hour, and apologize for the wind. I have a fuzzy mic on my lav, but it still might pick some wind up. Let me go to power assist 2. A lot easier. Power assist 3, a lot easier as well. I'm going 10 miles an hour. So let's go back to power assist 1. I don't think I need all of that. This next section is just downhills. So we're going to be testing our brakes and the handling of this bike. So let's just go. I'll shift down to a lower gear. Try to stay in my lane as much as possible. And then just going to take these curves. And we're going 19 miles an hour. I think we can go faster. So I'm at the lowest gear right now. Yeah, the bike handles very well. The brakes seem pretty decent. I would trust them. We're going 21 miles, but again, this is downhill. Past these people. Still going. Oh, these tires are brand new. They're a little slippery. Feels very easy. I'm on the lowest number 7 gear, which is the lowest chain on the back, and still on pedal assist 1, going pretty fast, 18 miles an hour. Let's go to power assist 1. We're at 9 miles per hour. Power assist 2. We're at 12 miles an hour, 13 miles an hour, 14, 15. Power assist 3. We're at 16 miles an hour, and that's just using the pedal assist. So I feel like pedal assist number 1 is good enough for most situations. We got another downhill coming up. Brakes seem to be working. Not the best brakes, but they work. So right now I'm going 21.9 miles an hour on pedal assist 1, and I feel like I could go faster with the higher pedal assist. So I'm at 27 miles an hour. I'm going to go to pedal assist 3, and since I'm going downhill, I don't really feel any change. Let's go back to pedal assist 0. And there don't feel much of a change either because we're going downhill. Alright, so I'm just gonna stop a little bit, and then again to show you at pedal assist 0 I cannot use the thumb throttle, but pedal assist 1 I can. So it did provide a little like boot to get me going, and I'm not going to pedal. I'm just going to use this thumb throttle. Right now I'm going like 13 miles an hour, 14, and it actually feels kind of slow. I feel like I was getting more power when I was pedaling, but yeah, we're going around 14 miles per hour. Doesn't feel that powerful in pedal assist 1. Let's go to pedal assist 2. I can hear the rear hub working. It's definitely providing more power, and we're going 17 miles per hour. Like, I feel like there's more torque in pedal assist 2. Let's go to pedal assist 3, and don't feel much of a difference, like maybe 10% more power. When I pedal and use the thumb throttle, there isn't much of a difference. like it doesn't combine the effort to make it go any faster. So one thing I noticed so far is that because the front is 42 teeth, I feel like I'm not going very fast. Like my road bike has 53 teeth in the front, and then the rear has like 10 teeth. If you're cruising, it's good. If you're racing, then maybe not. But this is quite enjoyable, I would say, if you're just commuting to work. The next 4 or 5 miles are going to be the same as this. Not sure there's much else to say, so I'm just gonna stop it here, and then when we get to some hills coming back up, I'll tell you about the climbing experience. I just want to try something real quick. So I'm on pedal assist 1, and let's see how fast we can go just by pedaling on pedal assist 1. So we're about 8 miles an hour, 9 miles an hour. I'm gonna go back around because I want to keep it consistently flat. Let's start on pedal assist 2, and let's see how fast we can go. Oh, definitely felt more power, and we're at 12 miles an hour, 13 miles an hour. Definitely more power on pedal assist 2. And then pedal assist 3, let's see if there's any difference. Definitely felt more power. We're going 14, 15, 16 miles an hour for the same distance, so definitely it's a lot more enjoyable if you do start on pedal assist 2 or 3. Let's try the thumb throttle on pedal assist 1. All right, there's a little bit of pull, and we're at 10 miles an hour on this relatively flat hill. Let's turn around. Right here, we're on pedal assist 2. Let's see how much torque it has when it pulls with the thumb throttle. All right, definitely felt a little more pull there. For the same distance, we're gonna go 13 miles an hour. Let's turn back around. Let's see how it feels on pedal assist 3 with a thumb throttle. So definitely more torque, yeah, I like it. And for the same distance, we're already going 16 miles an hour, and let's just keep going back up the hill. There's a slight incline. This incline is going to be about the same, so let me just go to pedal assist 1. And I'm on the highest, I think I'm on the highest gear. So on pedal assist 1 on this incline, it's relatively easy. Pedal assist 2, definitely a lot easier. And pedal assist 3, very easy. Let's go back to 1 with a thumb throttle. Definitely takes no effort just to hold a thumb throttle down. It's not as quick as pedaling. Pedal assist 2, more power, but definitely not as fast as when you pedal. And then 3 has more power, but still not as fast as if you pedal. So let's just pedal back up. So overall impressions, this bike's pretty fun. It's similar to my wife's Hyper E-Ride City bike. I feel like the dimensions are the same or similar to hers, and the standover height is 32 inches. I think it's the same as hers as well. It's meant for people that are like 5'6" and above. I'm 5'10" and a half, and I feel like it fits me well. It probably could fit someone shorter, like maybe 5'5", and I think if you lower the seat, you might be able to fit someone that's like 5'2", 5'3" as well. And definitely there is a good amount of torque, especially if you start off in pedal assist 3. Number 1 is very calm for those who just want to like cruise around or let their kids ride it. I'm not sure what the age range is for this, but if you're just like cruising around on the beach and you don't care about speed, pedal assist 1 is fine. Or if you have a teenager or child, they can ride on that. Those who are more serious and want to go faster, I would suggest starting on pedal assist 2 or 3, just to get that more torque and to go faster, and so you just get more power and it's more enjoyable. The brakes are like probably mid-grade brakes. I trust them to stop. I was going down a steep hill and it was slowing me down, and I would trust it if I need to stop right away. I did notice that when I was doing one of the turns, maybe it's the leaves on the ground or because the tires are brand new, I noticed it slipping a little, so I had to slow down. I couldn't just like corner and like take a curve really fast, but that's just like any new tire. The shocks seem pretty good. Yeah, shocks are good. I mean, they're decent. They're not like $1,000 shocks or anything, but they do the job. That absorbs the bumps. Like this road is semi-bumpy, but even if I like pushed it up and down, I would trust it. Oh, here we are on the hill. It's easy, but if I really want to go fast, I would have to push a little more, or I can go to a higher gear. So on Power Assist 3, wow, this is really easy, really easy. I'm gonna go back to 1 because I just want to talk, and the slower I go, the less wind gets picked up by my mic. So here we are on another hill, and I can just thumb throttle it too. I don't have to pedal. It's pretty easy. Let's try Pedal Assist 3. Yeah, definitely very easy to ride. Very easy. I feel like there's a steeper hill coming up, and I just want to show you how it handles that. But all these hills so far, I'd be huffing and puffing on my lowest gear on my road bike, but it seems to be doing pretty well. The ride is quite enjoyable. I'm gonna go back to Pedal Assist 1 because I don't want it to pick up too much noise. Ride is very enjoyable. Pedal Assist 3, get a lot of more torque. Fun to ride, just chilling, enjoying the view of the trees and the reservoir over there. And we're going to be approaching this steep hill that's very difficult to climb usually. But I think overall this bike is good, it's great. Probably very easy to ride around the city. One thing I noticed again was, I mean, it's an electric bike, it's going to be heavy. I don't know the exact weight. I didn't see any specs on their website saying how heavy it is, but I'm guessing it's at least 50, 60 pounds. And transporting it in a car is a little difficult to put it in. But if you have a bike rack, it'd be easier. I guess people that this is geared towards, they probably live in the city and they have an apartment or a house, and they can just take this out and ride around the city to commute to work, to commute to like the BART or something, and then ride the BART, and then when they get out they can ride this to their office, or if they just want to ride to their friend's house or to the grocery store. So yeah, this is a pretty steep hill, as you saw when I was coming down. This has no issues going up it. So it's starting to slow down a little bit, but I can also shift into I consider it higher gear, the higher ring, but this is like the opposite. I can do that, but it's not bad. On the lowest setting, on Pedal Assist 1, I can go to Pedal Assist 2, very easy, this very steep hill. And Pedal Assist 3 is just a piece of cake on this hill. So again, I didn't mention I'm probably like 150 pounds, so you can take that for what it is in terms of carry load and how easy it is to climb up hills. I know San Francisco has very steep hills, and based on this experience, I would not hesitate to take this up a steep hill. I think it's very easy. You can go to Power Assist 3, you can pedal, you can use the thumb throttle, you can change to a higher gear and just climb that hill. I don't foresee any issues with that. This one is a little steeper, And if I pedal slowly, there's no issue. If I pedal a little fast, I could feel it hesitate a little bit, but I can always change into a different power assist mode. So overall, it's getting a little dark. Let's turn the headlight on. So I'll press and hold the plus button, and I saw that the screen did dim a little. I can see some light up there, and I can see it on the ground. And again, it's kind of cool that you can press the brake lever and then the rear brake lights up kind of like a regular car. So you can notify the people behind you that you're slowing down. Yeah, overall, I do like this bike. I would recommend it to those who are interested in buying it. I don't know the exact price point yet because they didn't tell me what it is. That's supposed to be made known next week during the launch. So I think if it's priced around $1,000, like 800 to 1,500 bucks, I think it's pretty worth it, especially as an alternate to buying a car or a vehicle. So overall, yeah, I really like this bike. I would recommend it, and I suggest that you check their page out, and if you have a chance to test ride the bike and possibly purchase one yourself. So thanks again for watching, and see you guys next time. Test this out on the dirt. Pretty stable.